Hi friends. So now that the Israel-Iran war is officially over, you might want to know who has really won this war. Well, let's find out in today's video. So, kudos to Israel. It has won. It has stopped Iran's nuclear power mission and that's a great achievement. No, actually Iran wins as it showed resistance against both the Israel and the US. No, actually it's the US who has won since it has successfully mediated the war. Now, wait a minute. Are you also confused? You're not alone. So, in just 12 days, the Middle East was once again on the brink of a full blown regional war. Airstrikes, missiles, diplomatic drama, nuclear fears, and then silence. A ceasefire. But now, the real question everyone is asking, and you also might be wondering, who actually won? Israel, Iran, and even the United States are all claiming victory. So, what's the truth behind these victory claims? Who actually gained what out of this war? And who is just throwing its narratives? So, in this video, I'll break down everything, point by point, fact by fact. So, we are going to understand what exactly happened in those intense 12 days of the war, what each country is claiming, and most importantly, who really benefited from this war. So don't skip this important video because if you miss one piece of this geopolitical puzzle, the full picture won't make much sense to you. So at the end of the video, I'll ask you a question. So drop your answer in the comments and let's see if you can get it right. So let's jump right in. So ceasefire has been declared after 12 days of intense conflict. Yes, the Israel-Iran war started with military escalations and ended with a sudden, almost unexpected ceasefire. After 12 days of relentless bombing, missile attacks, and regional panic, a US mediated ceasefire was announced, and both Iran and Israel have confirmed it. The world finally took a breath. But remember, the ceasefire doesn't mean peace, it just means a pause. So, no hugs, no handshakes, no talks, no treaties, nothing. Just silence. This ceasefire came after intense behind the scenes diplomacy, especially from the US, and it raised a big question. Why did it end so suddenly? Well, that's because each side had done what they came to do and didn't want to risk further escalation. So let's see what those objectives or missions accomplished were for each of these countries or the players. So player number 1, Israel. Israel claims it weakened Iran's nuclear mission and missile capabilities. Israel wasted no time in calling this a major strategic victory. According to Israel Prime Minister Netanyahu, the Israeli Defense Forces or the IDF controlled Tehran's skies during the operation and launched precision strikes that actually damaged Iranian nuclear research centers and crippled its missile facilities. So whether that's fully true or not is still debated, but what's not debated is that Israel did in fact hit multiple strategic targets deep inside Iran. Even more importantly, this was the very first time the US actively joined Israel in such a direct manner against Iranian infrastructure. For decades, Israel has asked the US to take action on Iran's nuclear threat, and this time it actually happened. So, this created a historic moment, an unofficial but real US Israel military alliance playing out live. Israel sees this as not just a win militarily, but also a diplomatic and strategic victory. And guess what? With the world focusing on the Israel Iran fight, very few people actually talked about Gaza, where Israel had faced a lot of criticism for civilian deaths. For Israel, that distraction from Gaza belt was also a sort of a victory. So player number 2, Iran. So Iran claims it withstood the combined Israel and US assault. Now here's where things get interesting. Despite taking heavy hits, Iran walked out of this conflict saying, "Look, we survived, we fought back bravely, and we are still standing." Now that in itself is being presented as a win by Iran. So, imagine being attacked by two of the most powerful militaries in the world and still maintaining control over your cities, your government, and in fact, launching retaliatory attacks on Israeli bases. That indeed takes some courage, must say. So, even though Iran didn't win militarily, no one also believes that, but they have succeeded in creating a powerful internal and regional narrative. Their media is flooded with images of resistance, missile launches, and crowds chanting slogans of victory. So, to Iran, surviving equals winning. Why? Because in a region where perception is everything, this helps Tehran strengthen its grips on domestic politics and also signal to its proxies like Hezbollah and the Houthis. that look, we can handle the heat and pressure from the leading powers of the world. So you have our support and do what you're supposed to do in Lebanon and Yemen. This messaging of Iran coming out stronger is also crucial ahead of the future nuclear negotiations and internal power struggles. Iran showed, look, we are not weak, so don't mess with us again. Player number 3, the US. So US claims it successfully delayed Iran's nuclear ambition and demonstrated that it's still a world leader and no one should mess around with the US. Yes, even the US is claiming a win over here. For the first time in years, the US forces directly targeted Iran's nuclear facilities and missile programs, something that wasn't openly done before. According to American intelligence leaks, the Pentagon believes they set back Iran's nuclear timeline by at least 10 to 15 years by striking its three major nuclear sites, the Natanz, Fordo, and Isfahan, using their B-2 stealth bomber. Now that's big, because US got a chance to show that it has the last words when it comes to any conflict and other countries must follow what US has to say. Also, their B-2 bomber attracted a lot of headlines, and these sophisticated bombers actually demonstrated that US is way ahead when it comes to stealth, technology, and modern warfare. Well, even better for the US, President Trump got to announce the ceasefire and also play the role of a peacemaker right after those military strikes, essentially giving him a diplomatic trophy which he can also leverage during the next US election season. So the US walks away saying, we helped Israel, we damaged Iran, and we ended the war diplomatically. Mission accomplished. Sounds like a win, right? So as you can see, each nation spins around the narrative to appear victorious. Now this is where the real game begins, the battle of narratives. Let's be honest, in modern warfare, perception is everything. Whether or not you win the battlefield, what you say after the war can actually shape global opinion, the stock markets, diplomatic talks, and even the elections. That's why Israel, Iran, and the US are all racing to grab the mic and say, we won, we're stronger, we're in control. Now, this is classic information warfare. Israel wants global support and regional deterrence. Iran, on the other hand, wants to appear unbreakable to its allies and its enemies. The US wants to show its power without starting another Iraq or Afghanistan. Seems President Trump also wants the next global peace prize, and that could be the topic for another video. So, all of these narratives in place, but then what about the public or common people? Well, we are left trying to figure out what's true and what's not, or what's just a PR spin. True winner will be decided by future diplomacy and regional outcomes. Now here's the truth. The actual winner won't be decided today. It will be decided in the next few months, based on how the nuclear talks with Iran proceed, whether or not Israel faces any consequences in Gaza, whether Trump uses this conflict to boost his image, how the Arab world would react, quietly or with rage, or whether Hezbollah or other groups strike next. So, if diplomacy succeeds, we must say US and Israel have won. If conflicts return and Iran emerges stronger, maybe Iran had the long-term win. If everyone loses control again, then maybe no one won. That's why you see it's too early to conclude a clear winner for now. Now here's the question for you. Who do you think has really won this 12-day war? Let me know your answer in the comment section below. Do you think it's A. Israel, B. Iran, C. the United States, or D. no one, it was just damage control? So there's no correct answer for this question because it's a matter of perception, right? So I'd like to know your thoughts on this. I'll wait for 5 seconds so you can type in your answer. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So according to me, the correct answer should be D. No one has decisively won. So while each country gained something, whether strategic, military, or narrative-wise, there was no clear or clean winner. All three sides suffered in some way and also claimed some wins to avoid losing their faces. So this was a proxy war of power, perception, and positioning, and not a traditional win or loss battle. So that's it for today. If you found this video helpful, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe for more such deep geopolitical explainers in plain and simple English. Share this video with someone who still thinks one side clearly won, and I'd love to know your thoughts. So I'll see you in the next video. Till then, stay informed, stay smart.